everybody, Charlie Hogwood with Survival Dispatch here today. I've got another document, a foundational element of your survival group that I want to cover with you that will make your life so much easier and that of your group. This, in and of itself, will lead to group harmony probably more than just about anything else that you guys will ever do as a group. And I call it the group meeting template. It is an agenda of how to conduct a meeting, because we've all been there. We've all seen what happens when a meeting runs off the rails, when decisions aren't getting made, when old business isn't addressed and new business gets kicked to the side and everybody goes home angry and feel like they have gotten nothing out of this whole thing of joining a survival group and all the work that goes into it. So the meeting agenda is going to keep you on track. It's going to get the meeting going. It's going to keep the meeting going. It's going to keep the meeting focused, and it's going to properly end the meeting with a social course. So let's go through a little bit of it, and we're actually going to give you a copy of the PDF on how to conduct your own meeting. This is all part of a book that I've got coming out. It's called Group to Go. It's essentially all the documents and forms that you would need as a survival group. Fill in the blanks, and you're survivaling, however you want to say it, because I've done the hard work. I've written all these things out. There's going to be over 75 pages of documents that all you pretty much have to do is fill in the blanks, and you've got a group foundation and you're ready to go. And these are going to solve the vast majority of your problems. So the group meeting template starts out. It's going to have a date, it's going to have the start time of the meeting, and it's going to have the planned duration of the meeting. My recommendation: have a planned duration of the meeting. And the reason for that is, if you start out with an unknown period of time, people don't know what to expect, and they're going to get antsy and they're going to think that this is dragging on too long. So I'm going to have my meeting at this place, at this date, at this time, and this is how long it's going to go on. Now, my recommendation, I know 1 hour is kind of hard to get anything done, but you could go to 2 hours if you want, but I really wouldn't go too much further than that. If you can do an hour and a half to 2 hours on the outside of formal meeting time, that gives you enough time to do a training session, to do old business, new business, and then move on. Because right now, and any time in these recent years, we're competing for eyeballs. We are competing with sports teams, TV, Netflix. We're competing with everything. We got kids at home. We've got food that's got to be cooked. The kids got to get in bed. We got work to do. These days we're working all hours of the day and night from home. So we don't want to waste people's time. So we're going to also designate who is the meeting leader for the evening or for the afternoon. We're going to designate specifically who is the note taker, who's the scribe for this thing. And this document is going to be filled out, and then the scribe is going to take notes on everything so that they can update the next meeting using the same template. For what is new business today will be old business for next month or the next meeting period, whenever that might be. So how often should we do a meeting? Well, at least once a month. I would say that if you could do 2 get-togethers per month in some way, you could have 1 formal meeting. And for the people that might not be able to make it to the formal meeting, maybe have some sort of a training event otherwise in the month that hopefully they can get to. The problem is if you only have 1 gathering per month and you miss that one, it's easier to miss the second one. And if you miss the second one, now it's super easy to miss the third, fourth, and all the ones after that, and now you've lost a member. You've got to keep people engaged. So in between these meetings, which should all be, you should schedule these out months in advance so everybody can plan for them. And in between meetings, people should be calling each other. How you doing? Everything good? Don't forget, we got a meeting coming up. Do you have a class ready for that? Okay, great, because we're going to be counting on you to give that training. Those are the conversations you got to have with your people. So what is the purpose and type of the meeting? That's fill in the blanks on this. Well, this is going to be our monthly meeting. The type of meeting is we're going to vote on these issues. We're going to do this type of training event, whatever it is. We're going to talk about water purification, map reading, drawing a strip map, whatever it is. Put that on there. That's the key of the meeting tonight. That's our agenda. Then the agenda items. Just like pretty much corporate world, we're going to talk about old business action items. So what did we talk about at the last meeting that still needs to be addressed in some form or fashion? If we talked about, well, we need to build a new fence around our retreat location, or we got to dig a latrine out there, or we got to, we've planned to add 2 rabbits and 3 goats to our mini farm. Whatever the decision was at the last meeting, Cover it again and say, okay, was that done? Yes, it was. Great. Check that box, move on. Was it not done? Why? Let's address that. Now, we're also going to talk about new business, but I'm going to strongly urge you, when you have a meeting, don't put new business into a meeting that has not been already discussed. It might be written as new business on the form, and it will be, but we've already talked about all this stuff offline. We've kind of hawed it out. We've kind of tossed it around. We said, is this worthy of a discussion at the meeting? Do we want to have a vote on it? How do we feel about it? Get that consensus, get those feelings out of the way early, because if you introduce new items at a meeting that nobody knows about, it's going to invite all kinds of discourse, which is great, but not at the meeting, because it's going to run on and it's going to go over time on all the other stuff you got to talk about. A vote that you're going to have at a meeting you should have a pretty good idea how that vote's going to play out before that meeting even starts. And that comes through proper communication with all of your group members. So old action items, new business. Next thing we're going to talk about is new action items. What is the next action item that we got to talk about? So new business might just be, let's talk about admin stuff, but new action items. Let's prepare a training calendar for the next 6 months. Great, that's an action item. Let's assign that to somebody. Are you good with that? Absolutely, I'll get that done for you. And then that now will be presented at the next meeting as a training schedule. Or it could be done beforehand. You get to decide when you want that report to be due. So that's a new action item. And then I recommend every episode, every meeting should have a learning component. We're all there to handle business and be there as a group, but we should also always be learning. I don't care what it is. Give everybody strings and teach them how to tie knots. Talk to them about anything to do that is relevant to the group operations and give some sort of presentation on that. I would like to say, let's keep it focused to something that will benefit the survival group by way of task or skill, and maybe not something political, maybe not a speech or something like that, because that's not a learning component. That's a presentation of some sort. If that's what you want to do, fine, but I recommend always learning, always improving your position in everything you do. And then after that, let's talk about announcements. Okay, next thing up is announcements. We have this list of announcements. Will the treasurer please give a treasurer report? Will the training person please tell us about the schedule for what's coming up for the next several months? And we have a special meeting coming up in 2 weeks that we're all going to go out and do this, whatever that might be. And then conduct that meeting. Somebody has to lead that meeting and call out each of these sections. All right, anybody have any other announcements they'd like to make? None heard? Okay, let's move forward to the next meeting information. What's the next meeting information? The meeting is going to be about this. It's going to be on this date at this location, whatever that is. And you're going to explain that, because the more people know ahead of time, the more they can plan, they can anticipate, they can prepare, they can gather the materials that they need for whatever they got to teach, whatever they've got to present, and they're all ready to go. Next meeting information, check, got that done. Okay, I'm going to move that we close the meeting. Is there any other additions, comments, deletions? Nope, all good, outstanding. Let's move to the social time and snacks, the best part of the meeting. And the reason I say social time is if you just close the meeting out and you've only conducted business, and you're really not allowing your group members the benefit of interacting in some social measure. So I'd recommend bring some brownies, bring some snacks, bring a veggie tray, bring something, and everybody nosh around it, get together for however long they want to do it. It might be 30 minutes, it might be 60 minutes, it doesn't matter. Whatever that is, I want everybody to have the opportunity to engage everybody else in the group, mingle, get comfortable, feel great about what happened at the meeting, and then everybody can go and they'll look forward to coming back again. If you follow this agenda, this template, I guarantee you will smooth out all of your group operations. But like I say, no surprises in a meeting that confuses people, that upsets people, and do not let those meetings drag on. Get in there, get it done, socialize a little bit, see you next time. And that's what I'm going to do right now. This is Charley Hoard with Survival Dispatch. Survival Dispatch Insider, insider.survivaldispatch.com. Check us out for this kind of information and so much more at survivaldispatch.com. And I am out of here.